All right. We're going to be doing the Security Plus SY0-701 Domain 3 Security Architecture test out questions here. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to do this until I sick myself. Will we get through all 230, how many? 238 questions? Probably not. But we're going to do it. And we're going to do it live. Provide content for everyone out there on the interwebs to enjoy and to learn. So let's get started. This one seems to be about clouds. So, alright. Match each description on the left with the appropriate cloud technology on the right. Provides cloud services to just about anyone. That sounds pretty public. Allows cloud services to be shared by several organizations. Sounds like a community cloud. Integrates one cloud service with other cloud services. Sounds like a hybrid. Provides cloud services to a single organization. It's pretty private. There you go. What happened? I know about my clouds. A group of small local businesses have joined together to share access to a cloud-based payment system. What type of cloud is most likely being implemented? Probably community. A group of small businesses joined forces. Community. Final answer. How's the recording here? Oh yeah, it looks fine. Let me actually get rid of my little guy there. That'd be better. So yeah, community clouds are designed to be shared by several organizations. Access is restricted to users within the organizations who are sharing community cloud infrastructures. Which of the following best describes the platform as a service cloud computing service model? So platform as a service is some sort of platform for developers to do all their work. Let's see. Platform as a service delivers infrastructure to the client. No, that's infrastructure as a service. Platform as a service delivers software applications to the client, either over the internet. That sounds more like software as a service. Platform as a service delivers everything a developer needs to build an application on a cloud infrastructure. I like that one. Platform as a service stores and provides data from a centralized location without the need for local collection or storage. I don't know what that is. Storage as a service? So yeah, what was that last one? Software as a data as a service was this last one here. Alright. Which of the following cloud computing solutions delivers software applications to a client either over the internet or on a local area network? That'll be software as a service. SaaS. You are a security administrator for your organization. You have implemented a cloud service to provide features such as authentication, anti-malware, intrusion detection, and penetration testing. Which cloud service have you most likely implemented? So all of this stuff seems really security based, right? So I'm going to go with security, sec, as a service. Security as a service provides providers integrate their services into a corporate infrastructure. The applications and software are specific to organizational security. Design information, and yeah, it's all that good stuff. The IT manager has tasked you with installing new physical machines. These computer systems are bare bones systems that simply establish a remote connection to the data center to run their users' virtualized desktops. Which type of deployment model is being used? That would be thin clients. This is a type of deployment is often referred to as a thin client deployment. This deployment utilizes virtual desktop infrastructure, VDI, to virtualize a user's desktop. The client machine is essentially only used to connect to the high-end machines in the data center, as opposed to thick clients, which are just traditional deployments, where most of the processing load is handled by the local workstation. Those are our thick clients. I'm on a thick client right now. Which of the following are true concerning virtual desktop infrastructure, VDIs? Let's select 2. User desktop environments are provided by individual desktop systems instead of by remote servers? No. In the event of a widespread malware infection, the administrator can quickly re-image all user desktops on a few central servers? I don't know. Roaming profiles must be configured to allow mobile users to keep their same desktop environment across systems. I guess, but is that really true concerning VDI? In the event of a widespread malware infection, the administrator can re-image user desktops by pushing an image out to each user desktop system over the network. And user desktop environments are centrally hosted on servers instead of on individual desktop systems. Okay, well there you go. We got at least one. What was the other one? VDI, event of widespread malware, by pushing out an image to each user desktop over the system. In the event of widespread malware infection, the administrator can quickly re-image all user desktops on a few central servers. I kind of like that one. User desktop environments private. No, that's not that one. Really? Figure to allow mobile users to use it. I don't know. I don't know what the second one is. But I know I got the first one. Oh, there you go. I got the second one too. Virtual desktop infrastructure is a service that hosts user desktop environments on a centralized server. Users access their desktops from low-end systems over the network connection using a remote display protocol such as remote desktop or virtual network computing. This allows users to access their desktop environment with their applications and data from any location and from any client device. Roaming profiles are not needed. VDI provides administrators with a centralized client environment that is easier and more efficient to manage. For example, if a widespread malware infection hits multiple desktops, the infected systems can be quickly re-imaged on a VDI server. There's no need to push large images down to client systems over the network. Well, ain't that something? Ain't that something? Let's get this out right now. Bam. It's my banner. I'd probably bypass the TANs and override the reticular of the domain, thusly rendering the architecture useless. You hacker, you. I knew you had some hacker blood in you, Mr. Ren Zenith. A large organization is planning to move its operations to the cloud and is considering different cloud deployment models. The organization wants to achieve a balance of cost, security, flexibility, and control over its data and applications, and is considering a hybrid cloud model, but has concerns about the security implementations. Which of the following is a potential security challenge the organization should consider when using a hybrid cloud model? The organization will have to bear the full cost of managing and securing the cloud infrastructure. The organization may struggle with managing multiple cloud environments and enforcing consistent security policies. A potential security challenge. The hybrid cloud model is not scalable and may not be able to meet the organization's growing needs. Well, I don't like that one. The organization will have no control over the security of its data and applications in the cloud. I don't know if that's true. The organization may struggle with managing multiple cloud environments and enforcing consistent security policies. I mean, I like that one. Let's say you get Microsoft Azure and you're working with Amazon Web Services. Like, there's definitely going to be some differences there with security implementations. The organization will have to bear the full cost of managing and securing the cloud infrastructure. That might not be true. There might be situations that come with your subscription. I think it's this one. Let's see. Yep. hybrid cloud model can present security challenges, including the complexity of managing multiple cloud environments and enforcing consistent security policies across all environments. Yeah, it would. Azure's got its own little vocabulary. Amazon's got their own little vocabulary. Google has their own vocabulary. So that just might get confusing as fuck if you start doing a hybrid cloud thinking you're going to standardize everything. Am I right? Am I right? A company is considering moving its applications and data to the cloud. Company handles sensitive data and wants to maintain control over the security of its applications and data. It is considering using an infrastructure as a service model. Oh, that's great. Which of the following is a key responsibility the company will need to manage in an infrastructure as a service model? Psh, just pay them. That's all you got to do is pay them. Cloud storage backup and recovery. Physical security of the cloud infrastructure. I mean, they're only getting infrastructure. That means they're getting the servers, they're getting the power, they're getting the storage. Everything else you're going to be in charge of, but most importantly, you got to pay them. Securing foundational elements of networking such as DDoS protection, protection of operating systems when deployed, physical security of cloud infrastructure. Well, no, you're not. No physical security. You're not in charge of that. Cloud storage backup and recovery. Again, you're not in charge of storage or physical security. So it's either one of these two. Protection of operating systems when deployed, or securing foundational elements of networking, such as a DDoS protection. I don't know. I feel like that still might fall under some infrastructure as a service, right? Because they're in charge of the servers. They got to be in charge of the load balancing. They got to be in charge of DDoS protection. So I think it's this one. Operating systems, virtualization, that's all you, baby. In an infrastructure as a service model, the customer is responsible for protecting the operating system it deploys on the cloud infrastructure. This includes tasks like applying security updates and patches, managing access controls, and implementing intrusion detection systems. See, cloud service provider is typically responsible for securing foundational elements of networking, including denial of service protection. Yep. A rock band wishes to set up a system for communicating with their fans upon arrival at concerts and providing them with relevant hashtags for participation. Which type of cloud service model would be most beneficial to recommend to the rock band? What do they want to do? They want to communicate with their fans upon arrival at concerts and providing them with relevant hashtags for participation. I don't know. Software as a service? It's not platform. It wouldn't be infrastructure. A third-party vendor? What type of cloud service would be third party? I think it's software as a service. Yeah, like they just want their own app. They want the Rock Band app. Third-party vendor refers to providers offering cloud services. While this type of vendor can be a part of the solution, it is not the service model. Yeah, they tried tricking you there, huh? Yeah, it'd be the most appropriate recommendation, enabling the band to use pre-configured applications for sending text messages. It also manages fan engagement without extensive deployment or infrastructure setup. They want an app, dude. Google Cloud, Amazon Web Services, and Microsoft Azure, there's those three that I was mentioning before, are some of the most widely used cloud storage solutions for enterprises. Which of the following factors prompt most companies to take advantage of cloud storages? Okay, let's see. Growing demand for storage? Yeah, that could be one of them. Need to bring costs down? I don't know. I don't know if that might be true. Need for a storage provider to manage access control? That might be true. Need for software as a service for managing enterprise applications? Or need for platform as a service for developing applications? Which of the following factors prompt most companies to take advantage of cloud storage? We're talking about cloud storage here, not developing cloud models. So I think it's the need to bring costs down. Need for storage provider to manage access control. I don't think that's, I mean, don't you want to be the one that manages access control? Why are you, Google Cloud doesn't know your employees, right? I think it's these two. Yeah. Some of the most widely used cloud storages for enterprises are Google Cloud, AWS, and Microsoft Azure because of the growing demand for storage and the desire to bring costs down. Many companies have been taking advantage of cloud storage. Yep. Which of the following cloud storage access services acts as a gatekeeper, extending an organization's security policies into the cloud storage infrastructure? Oh, I kind of like the idea of a cloud storage gateway, a co-located cloud computer service, a cloud access security broker, a web service application programming interface. Could it be an API? Which of the following cloud storage access services acts as a gatekeeper, extending an organization's security policies into the cloud storage infrastructure? Okay, so you got a company and everyone's got their roles and you're trying to extend those roles in the cloud. Would that be a cloud storage gateway? Co-located cloud computing service, cloud access security. Maybe it's that one. A cloud access security broker? A web application programming interface? I don't know. I don't know the answer to this one. I'm just going to say cloud access security broker sounds kind of cool. Talking about security policies. Access, cloud storage access services. Cloud storage access services. I would think it's a cloud storage gateway. Acts as a gatekeeper. Cloud storage access, cloud storage gate. I kind of want to go with that one. It might be that security broker. Oh, it was the security broker, son of a bitch. A cloud access security broker. Oh, CASB. Dude, I haven't heard the fucking acronym CASB in so long. I forgot about CASB. May act as a gatekeeper, extending an organization's security policies into the cloud storage infrastructure. A CASB focuses on the visibility of company data, regulation compliance, user access, and data security through encryption and loss prevention. Son of a cigarette, it was CASB. So CASB is just like that bouncer, man. He's gonna protect your shit. Focuses on visibility of company data, regulation compliance, user access, and data security through encryption and loss prevention. CASB, CASB, CASB. Remember that. Oh, there he is again. CASB. A large multinational corporation is planning to move a significant portion of their data storage to the cloud. As the company's lead cybersecurity analyst, you, me, are tasked with ensuring the security of the company's data during and after the transition. Which of the following would be the most effective solution to extend the company's security policies into the cloud storage infrastructure? It's CASB. We were just talking about them. Provide visibility of the company. Yeah, it's CASB. Ensure regulation compliance, prevent threats through user access control, and secure data. That's a lot. I've never used a cloud access security broker. Never used one before. Oh gosh, this one's a lot of reading here. Cloud storage is a virtual service. So the infrastructure... What? Wait, so the infrastructure is the responsibility of the storage provider. Yeah. Access control should be set as a local file system would be. Wait, am I reading this wrong? Am I retarded? Cloud storage is a virtual service. So the infrastructure is the responsibility of the storage provider. Access control should be set as a local file system would be with no need for the provider to have access to the stored data. You are implementing the following measures to secure your cloud storage. You're going to verify that security controls are the same as the physical data center. Use data. Are we talking about CASB again? Use data classification policies, assign information into categories that determine storage, handling, and access requirements. Assign information classification based on information sensitivity and criticality. Which of the following is another security measure you can implement? Configure redundancy and distribution of data. I don't know what I'm doing here. This sentence sounds stupid to me for some reason. Configure distributed resources to act as one in a federated architecture. Dispose of data when it is no longer needed by using specialized tools. Create versioned copies of your cloud data. So the following is another security measure you can implement. I don't know. I don't like this question. I don't know. Dispose of data? Another security measure you can implement. I don't know, dude. I have no idea. Okay, cool. Disposing of data when it is no longer needed by using specialized tools and another security measure you can. So here's a great example of just like take a fucking guess. When you go and take this exam, just take a guess. Because that's all I did there. I don't like that question. A tech company plans to launch a new application on a cloud platform to cater to its growing customer base. The lead security analyst examines potential vulnerabilities to ensure the application remains secure after deployment. The analyst focuses on potential weak points within the application's design and the cloud platform's infrastructure. Considering vulnerabilities associated with the applications and cloud platforms, which of the following issues poses the highest risk related to unauthorized data access in cloud-hosted applications? The highest risk, disabled logging features within the application, inefficiently allocated cloud resources, absence of multi-factor authentication for application users, misconfigured cloud storage access controls. Considering vulnerabilities associated with applications and cloud platforms, which of the following issues poses the highest risk related to unauthorized data access? I guess this one. Misconfigured cloud storage access controls, because if there is an unauthorized data access, let's say I enter in as like a regular employee, but we have a misconfigured cloud storage access controls, then I can go anywhere. There's no role-based access controls. It's got to be that one. Yeah, misconfigured access controls on cloud storage can allow unauthorized users to access, modify, or delete data. Misconfigured access controls pose a direct threat to data integrity and confidentiality. Which of the following is not a characteristic of cloud computing? Not. So we got three that are. The cloud connection can exist over the internet or a LAN. Yeah, I guess, wouldn't that be like a on-premise cloud? Cloud computing does not require end-user knowledge of the physical location and configuration of the system that delivers the services? Yeah, I guess so. Why would I need to? Well, I guess I would want to know about the availability zones with my cloud, but I guess it's not required. Delivery of common businesses Oh, wait. Delivery of common business applications accessed from a web service or software. Cloud computing requires end user knowledge of the physical location and configuration of the system that delivers the services. Oh, so now they're fucking with us here. This feels like an opinion question. Like, I don't need to know where it is, but I kind of want to know where it is. Delivery of common businesses applications accessed from a web service or software. That's just software as a service. So it's probably this one. The cloud connection can exist. I think that's true too. Oh, what? Wait, did I get this backwards? Requires end user knowledge of physical location. That's not true. Cloud computing requires end user knowledge of the physical. Wait, what was I doing again? I was picking the one that was not a characteristic. Cloud computing requires end user knowledge of the physical location and configuration of the system that delivers the services is not a characteristic of cloud computing. One of the key features of cloud computing is that it abstracts the complexity and details of the system's infrastructure from the end user. Users can access and use the services without needing to understand the underlying technology or infrastructure. End user knowledge of the physical location. Okay, maybe not the configuration, but you still want to be in the loop on the physical location. I don't know. I don't really like that question. You are the CISO of a large organization that is transitioning to cloud services. One of your main concerns is ensuring the security of your organization's data in the cloud. Which of the following actions would be the least effective in reducing cloud security risks? Establishing a formal process for all facets of the service, from user requests to major data breaches and catastrophic events. I mean, that's pretty important. Segregating each organization's centrally stored data. Yeah, I guess that's pretty important too. Regularly updating the organizational social media accounts with information about the transition to the cloud. The least effective in reducing, probably that one. Implementing a CASB. No, we already talked how cool CASB is. It's got to be this one. Yeah. Regularly updating the organization's social media accounts with information about the transition to the cloud would be the least effective measure. While transparency is important, regularly updating social media accounts with information about the transition to the cloud does not directly contribute to reducing cloud security risks. In fact, it could potentially provide threat actors with information they could use to target the organization. Yeah, why would you let everybody know? You are a network engineer for a multinational corporation. The corporation is planning to expand its operations to a new location. You are tasked with designing the network for the new site. The network should be robust, scalable, and secure. Which of the following approaches to setting up network nodes at the new site would best meet this requirement, or these requirements? Setting up multiple network nodes with redundant functionality to ensure high availability. Setting up a single powerful server to handle all network functions. Setting up a single network node with minimal functionality to reduce costs, or setting up multiple network nodes, each dedicated to specific functions such as routing, switching, and firewalling. So what do we want to do? Design network. New network should be robust, scalable, and secure. Setting up multiple network nodes with redundant functionality to ensure high availability. That would be scalable. That would be pretty robust. Setting up multiple network nodes, each dedicated to specific functions. That's not really scalable. Because if one of those go down, then there's no redundancy. Such as routing, switching. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the first one. Oh, fuck. It was that one. Setting up multiple network nodes, each dedicated to specific functions such as routing, switching, fire. Okay, that's the correct answer. And allows for better performance, scalability, and security. Each node can be optimized for its specific function, and if one node fails, the impact on the overall... Oh, I see what's going on. So, I got it backwards. If one fails, the other ones won't fail. Setting up multiple with redundant functionality. Setting up with redundant is not the best choice because while redundancy is important for high availability, having multiple network nodes with redundant function could lead to unnecessary complexity and costs. I didn't think money was an issue here. There's nothing here about saying that. New location, network. It would be more efficient to have each network node dedicated to a specific function with appropriate backups and failover mechanisms in place. So we're just kind of assuming all of this stuff at the end because none of that is... Man, some of these questions, I swear. You are a network engineer for a global company that is implementing a new real-time data processing system. This system requires efficient and reliable data transfers between different network segments. Which of the following network components would be most critical in ensuring the efficient and reliable transfer of real-time data in this scenario? Application protocols, transport protocols, wireless access points, or domain name system services? Real-time data processing system. The system requires efficient and reliable data transfers between different network segments. The following network components would be most critical in ensuring the efficient and reliable transfer of real-time data in this scenario? Would it be transport protocols or domain name system servers? I'm going to go with transport protocols. Transport protocols is the correct answer, such as transmission, control protocol, TCP, and the UDPs operate in the transport layer of the OSI model. They're responsible for the end-to-end transfer of data between systems and can provide mechanisms for ensuring reliable data transfers, which is critical for real-time data processing. Okay. You are the network architecture for a large organization. The organization is planning to upgrade its network infrastructure to support a new business application. The application requires high availability, secure data transfers, and efficient handling of large data volumes. Should the following network design considerations best aligns with the requirements of the new business applications? We want high availability, secure data transfers, and efficient handling of large volumes. Implementing a flat network design with all devices on the same network segment. Implementing a network design with minimal use of routers to reduce complexity. Implementing a layered network design based on the OSI model with appropriate security controls at each layer. Implementing a network design that prioritizes cost reductions over scalability and resiliency. Well, that one sounds bad. I mean, the only one that sounds like a good answer is this one. And I don't know what a flat network design is, so let's find out. A flat network design is not the best choice because a flat network design does not provide the necessary segmentation for secure data transfers and efficient. In a flat network, all devices are on the same network segment, which can lead to performance issues and increased security risks. Oh, okay. So different network segments means it's a fat network rather than a flat network. Which of the following is an advantage of software-defined networking? It lacks vendor support. That's not true. The following is an advantage. Standards are still being developed. More granular control. It's currently a new technology. Oh, this is the only one that sounds like an advantage, and this one is kind of true. And these don't sound nice. I mean, standards are still being yeah, it's this one. It's got to be that one. Some disadvantages of SDN include that it's a new technology. It lacks vendor support. Standards are still being... Oh, okay, so those are the disadvantages. Which SDN layer would a load balancer that stops and starts VMs as resources increases reside on? SDNs are pretty smart. They would be... They're not at the physical. And I don't think they're all the way up there at the application. I guess they'd be at the control, right? Stops and starts VMs as resource use increases resides on. So we get more increase, more people are coming to the website. Our load balancer needs to start another VM. I think it's control. Ah, those applications. Applications reside on the application layer. What? A load balancer that stops and starts VMs as resources use increases is an example of an application that would reside on this layer. Oh. Yeah, I guess that's true. So if everybody's going to like a website like Amazon.com, Amazon.com's getting overloaded, they need to start another VM, and that's the application layer. Control layer is the middle layer. This is where the controller resides. Oh, great explanation there. Software-defined networking uses a controller to manage devices. The controller is able to inventory hardware components on the network, gather network statistics, make routing decisions based on gathered data, and facilitate communication between devices from different vendors. It can also be used to make widespread configuration changes on just one server, or one device. Which of the following best describes an SDN controller? The SDN controller is a virtual networking device. The SDN controller is the networking protocol. The SDN controller is a hardware. SDN controller is a software. The controller. I mean, they're giving me all the information here. The controller is able to inventory hardware components on a network device, on a network, gather network statistics, make routing decisions, facilitate communications. I mean, that's a lot of stuff going on. So it's a virtual networking device, right? Is it? Ah, dude, that's what I thought. I knew it was going to be one of those two, but this one didn't sound right. SDN uses a controller to manage devices. The controller is software that is able to inventory hardware components on the network, gather network statistics, make routing decisions based on gathered data, and facilitate communication between... Okay. This is going to be a tough... Dude, security architecture is not my forte here in this domain. This domain is going to be tough. Companies deploying a software service to monitor traffic and enforce security policies in its cloud environment. Considering the need for responsiveness, which technology should the company consider using? Well, we're going to be deploying a software service to monitor traffic and enforce security policies in a cloud environment. Considering the need for responsiveness, which technology should the company consider using? Infrastructure as code, serverless platforms and software-defined networking, virtual private clouds, or microservices? Is it just that one? Serverless platforms and SDN? If I had to take a guess, it's either that one or... I don't know. I'm just going to say that one. There you go. Serverless platforms allow the company to focus on application development by managing the underlying infrastructure, while SDN helps in efficient traffic monitoring and security policy enforcement. All right, let's see. Drag and drops. This layer receives its requests from the application layer. Oh gosh, we got physical layer, control layer, application layer. This is all SDN stuff. So how did I do this again? How did I remember? Let's see. This layer is also known as the infrastructure layer. I think that's physical layer. This layer communicates with the control layer through what is called a northbound interface. This layer provides the physical layer with configurations and instructions. That would be the control layer. On this layer, individual networking devices use southbound APIs to communicate with the control plane. This layer receives its requests from the application layer. Receives its requests. Would that be physical? Right? Oh gosh. See, I gotta brush up on this. Northbound interface, and then we have southbound. This layer communicates with the control layer, which is in the middle, through what is called a northbound interface. So would that be a physical layer? On this layer, individual networking devices use southbound APIs to communicate with the control plane. So would that be application? And then this layer receives its requests from the application layer. I want to say that's physical. I got physical. I don't think that's right, dude. Receives its requests from the application layer. Is the physical layer receiving requests from the application? Dude, I don't know. I am so terrible at this. There's control layer, application layer, and physical layer. God damn. The only two that I got right were the two that I did. Yeah, I gotta definitely brush up on this. Uh-oh, here's more. Which of the following does the application layer use to communicate with the control layer? Was that southbound APIs? I think that was southbound, right? Oh, it was northbound. The application layer communicates with the control layer through what is called the northbound interface. These are sometimes called northbound APIs. So application layer communicates with control. See, the way I like to think of it is physicals on the bottom, controls in the middle, applications on the top. So I thought it would be application communicating with control. It's going south, but it's actually going north. There, the communication control layer, northbound, application. Individual networking devices use southbound APIs to communicate with control. Southbound, it's going, oh man. Which of the following best describes the physical SDN layer? Sometimes called northbound APIs? No. Also known as the infrastructure layer? Yeah. Gives new life to old networking hardware? What? Receives its request from the application. I think it's this one. Okay. Network engineers have the option of using software to configure and control the network rather than relying on individual static configuration files that are located on each network device. Which of the following is a relatively new technology that allows network and security professionals to use software to manage, control, and make changes to the network. I mean, SDN. Isn't that what we're talking about? It's a relatively new technology that allows the network security professionals to manage, control, and make changes to a network. Network engineers are able to use the software to configure and control the network rather than relying on individual static configuration files that are located on each network device. Which APIs do individual networking devices use to communicate with the control plane from the physical layer? Well, I would think it's north, but it's south. Southbound. Which of the following is a disadvantage of software-defined networking? SDN standards are still being developed. SDN gathers network information and statistics. SDN facilitates communicate out to. I guess that one. That's the only one that sounds like a disadvantage, right? You didn't even need to know about SDN to know that was the right answer. To address the escalating operational costs and complexities stemming from multiple standalone applications, an organization plans to restructure its software deployment process. They want to minimize overhead, increase flexibility in development environments, and enhance the efficient use of system resources. What approach would be the most effective? They want to minimize overhead, increase flexibility in development environments. I'm liking containerization already, and enhance the efficient use of system resources. That's got to be containerization. It's gotta be. Containerization encapsulates applications and their dependencies, which provides the flexibility to run them across different environments. It also allows for better resource utilization, as each container only holds the application and its related binaries and libraries, effectively reducing overhead. Tech company wants to increase its security measures by isolating its various development, testing, and production environments. Okay, it's probably going to be virtualization or containerization. Company wants to ensure that these environments are reproducible and managing these dependencies consistently. Which approach would be most beneficial in meeting these requirements? I think it's virtualization. By isolating its development, you develop stuff in a virtualized environment, you test stuff in a virtualized environment. Yeah, it's got to be virtualization. Oh, fuck, it was containerization again. Containerization allows the isolation of environments while also providing reproducibility and efficient dependency management. Each container, why wasn't it virtualization? Does not inherently provide the level of isolation between applications or manage dependencies as efficiently as containerization. Well, that's your opinion, man. You have a development machine that contains sensitive information relative to your business. You are concerned that spyware and malware might be installed while users browse websites, which could compromise your system or pose a confidentiality risk. Which of the following actions would best protect your system? Configure the browser to block all cookies and pop-ups. Change the security level for the internet zone to high. Run the browser in a protected mode. Run the browser within a virtual environment. I kind of like this one, run the browser within a virtual environment, because now the attacker has to do some sort of VM escape to get to the core operating system. So let's see if it's that one. Yeah, the best protect your system, run the browser in a virtual environment. Virtualization creates an environment that is logically separated from the main system. Any problems that occur within the virtual environment, you just delete it. Yeah, they're contained, and you can just delete the VM when you're done. Which of the following is an advantage of a virtual browser? Filters internet content based on ratings, prevents adware and spyware that monitor your internet activity, protects the host operating system from malicious downloads. Exactly, that one. It's got to be that one. That's exactly what I was trying to convey in the last question. A virtual browser operates within a virtual sandbox that keeps activities within the browser from affecting the rest of the system. For example, malware downloaded by the virtual browser is limited to the security sandbox and cannot harm the operating system. Unless the hacker is sophisticated enough to do a VM escape. Which of the following devices is computer software, firmware, or hardware that creates and runs virtual machines? A hypervisor, computer software, firmware, or hardware that creates and runs virtual machines. That'd be a hypervisor, right? Hypervisor is a computer software, firmware, or hardware that creates and runs virtual machines. The computer on which a hypervisor runs one or more virtual machines is called a host machine. Each virtual machine is called a guest machine. So you got your host and your guests. The hypervisor provides the guest operating systems with resources and all those other good stuff. Which of the following is a disadvantage of server virtualization? A disadvantage. It increases hardware costs. That's not true. That's an advantage. Systems are isolated from each other. That's an advantage. A compromised host system might affect multiple servers. Maybe. A compromised guest system might affect multiple servers. No. It's this one. That sounds pretty disadvantaged. Yeah. Virtualization allows a single physical machine, known as the host operating system, run multiple VMs, which are known as guests. The virtual machines appear to be self-contained and autonomous systems. Disadvantage of virtualization include an attack on the host machine could compromise all guest machines in the operating system. A bottleneck or failure of any hardware component that is shared between multiple guests, such as a failure in the disk subsystem, could affect multiple virtual machines. So yeah, if you have your computer and you're running multiple virtual machines and they're all sharing the same memory, well, if the memory breaks, that could affect everybody. While administration is centralized, virtualization is a newer technology that requires new skills. So managing virtual servers could add complexity. I guess so. Which type of hypervisor runs as an application on the host machine? That would be type 2. Type 2 hypervisor is known as a hosted hypervisor, and it runs as an application on a conventional operating system. Which of the following are advantages of virtualization? Advantages: redundancy of hardware components for fault tolerance. Hold on. Easy migration of systems to different hardware. Improved. I'm looking for 2 advantages, which means there's got to be 2 disadvantages. So centralized administration. Are we talking about the hypervisor? What are we? Reduced utilization of hardware resources. Which of the following are advantages of virtualization? What am I doing here? Easy migration of systems to different hardware. I guess? Yeah. In a clustering, they could just migrate to different servers. Improved host-based attack detection? No. Reduced utilization of hardware resources? Redundancy of hardware components for volatile? No, I guess it's this one. Centralized administration. If we're talking about the hypervisor. There you go. Virtualization allows a single physical machine, known as the host operator, to run multiple versions. Yeah, I guess. Server consolidation is an advantage. The ability to migrate systems between different hardwares. Centralized management. Increased utilization of hardware resources, where this one said reduced utilization of hardware resources. Thought that sounded funny. It's more increased. Because let's say, like right now, I'm on a computer that has 16 gigabytes of memory, right? I'm not using all 16 gigabytes right now. I could run 2 virtual machines on this computer if I really wanted to. Isolation of systems and applications, it's definitely an advantage. Server consolidation. That just means like what? Consolidating things in a little bubble. Yeah, I guess so. Instead of having like 4 different computers, I could have one computer with 3 virtual machines. Okay, let's move on. Which of the following provides the network virtualization solution called Zen server? What? Dude, this is totally not going to be on the test. What is this bullshit? I don't know. Should I be investing in these companies? Should I be looking up stock right now? Cisco, Microsoft, VMware, Citrix, Zen server. That doesn't really sound like a Microsoft thing. And I don't think it's a VMware thing. Which of the following provides network virtualization? I don't think it's any of these things. Cisco, Zen server, VMware. I'm just gonna go with this one because it sounds very odd. This one sounds odd. Let's go. Citrix provides virtualization solution called Zen server. Yeah, VMware is the ESXi, Microsoft is Hyper-V, and Cisco does not provide a virtualization solution, but they offer vSwitches platforms called Nexus 1000 Vs. Okay, let's keep going. You are the system administrator for a large corporation that is planning to implement network virtualization across its data centers. Corporation has a high demand for scalability with the need to support over 1,000 virtual machines per host. The corporation also has a significant investment in Microsoft technologies and wants to leverage existing resources and expertise. All right, Hyper-V. We were just talking about it. It's Hyper-V, baby. Which of the following is a network virtualization solution provided by Microsoft? That's Hyper-V. You might get this kind of a question on the test because that's such a popular thing you got to know about. But Citrix? What the hell is that? VirtualBox is another popular one from VMware, I think. Right? I think it's VMware. Or no. Is it VMware? Who makes VirtualBox? I forgot. I don't remember. Which of the following statements about virtual networks is true? Following statements about virtual networks. Each virtual network must be associated with a single physical network adapter. No, that's not true. A virtual network is dependent on the configuration and physical hardware of the host operating system. Maybe. Multiple virtual networks can be associated with a single physical network adapter. That's true. That one rings true. A virtual network is independent of the configuration and physical hardware of the host. So is it dependent or independent? I don't remember. Accessing network resources requires that the operating system on the virtual machine be configured on an isolated network. I don't think that's true either. Virtual network is... I think a virtual network is independent That's the whole point of it, right? Ah, fuck, it was dependent. Virtual network is dependent on the configuration physical hardware of the host operating system. Yeah. Yep. My bad. Which of the following devices facilitates communication between different virtual machines by checking data packets before moving them to their destination? We're checking data packets. Communication between different virtual machines by checking data packets. The virtual switch? I'm going with the switch. Yeah. Whether it was virtual or not, that just sounded like a switch thing. Which of the following is a virtual LAN that runs on top of a physical LAN? I guess it would be a VLAN, right? A virtual LAN? Oh, it's called a VAN? A virtual area network? What is a virtual LAN running on top of a physical LAN? I've never heard the term VAN before. A virtual area network. This configuration enables virtual guest machines on separate physical hosts to communicate. Dude, I swear, test out is an overkill sometimes because I've never heard of a VAN before. I've heard of a VLAN. Following is a virtual. Wait, which of the following is a virtual LAN, a VLAN, that runs on top of physical LAN? Oh, VLANs would run on top of a physical switch. Nah, dude. I need to check the PDF right now, because I don't feel like VAN is an acronym I gotta know. I don't think so. Which of the following virtual devices provides packet filtering and monitoring? That would be something with a firewall, right? Virtual firewall application? Do you think that's what that stands for? Virtual firewall appliance. This is software that functions as a network firewall device that provides the usual packet filtering and monitoring. And that can run as traditional software firewall on a virtual machine. Which of the following is an example of a protocol-based network virtualization? Protocol-based. I don't think it's... I think we eliminated these two. Protocols. What would the protocol be? Different types of protocols. A V-switch or a VMM? Protocol-based network virtuals. I don't know. 50-50 shot here. Going with VMM. Oh, it was a VLAN. Fuck! VLANs and VPNs are two examples of protocol-based network virtualization. There's an example of protocol-based. VLAN is protocol-based? What is this one? A virtual machine monitoring is a software, firmware, or hardware that creates and runs virtual machines. Oh, VMM is a hypervisor. Okay. Which of the following is a bare metal hypervisor that runs directly on a server hardware without requiring an additional underlying operating system that is primarily used for data center virtualization. VM workstation, right? Or is it VM ESXi? The bare metal hypervisor that runs directly on the server hardware. I don't know. VM workstation. Nope, it was the ESXi. So VMware ESXi is all about bare metals. Workstations are going to be run on hypervisors. So type 1, type 2. Damn it. You are a system administrator for a large corporation that is planning to implement virtual networking to improve efficiency. You have been tasked with setting up a new virtual device. Which of the following steps would be the most appropriate to ensure optimal utilization of the physical device capability? Avoid partitioning the physical device and use it as a single virtual instance. Assign all available resources of the physical device to the new virtual device. Assign a small portion of the physical device resources to the new virtual device to ensure other devices can also use resources, or partition the physical device into multiple virtual devices, each with a portion of the physical device's capability. I guess this one. Literally, I'm guessing. Assign a small portion. No, assign all available reasons. Partition. I guess that one. Yeah. I don't like some of these questions. Like, the question didn't sound right in that one. As a network administrator for a tech startup, you are tasked with improving the efficiency of a single system that runs multiple applications. The system is currently experiencing performance issues due to the applications competing for network resources. Which type of network virtualization would be the most appropriate solution in this scenario? Which type of network virtualization would be the most appropriate solution for this scenario? Internal network virtualization, external network virtualization, virtual local area network, or virtual private. No, it's not a VPN. It can't be. I don't know, dude. I'm getting a little exhausted here on like all this virtualness. I don't know. Is it this one? Virtual local area network VLAN? Applications competing for network resources. Internal, external. I really don't know. Damn it! That's the one I thought it was before. Internal network virtualization is correct. This type of virtualization configures a single system with software containers or pseudo interfaces to emulate a physical network with software. This can improve a single system's efficiency by isolating applications to separate containers or pseudo interfaces, thus reducing competition for network resources. External network virtualization is incorrect. This type of virtualization is used to combine one or more LANs into virtual networks to improve a large network efficiency. It's not typically used for improving the efficiency of a single system running multiple applications. Oh. Okay. You manage information systems for a large co-location data center. Networked environmental controls are used to manage the temperature within the data center. These controls use embedded smart technology that allows them to be managed over an internet connection using a mobile device. You are concerned about the security of these devices. What can you do to increase the security posture? Install anti-malware software on each device. Install the latest firmware updates from the device manufacturer. Enroll each device into a mobile device management system. Rely on the device manufacturer to maintain device security with automated firmware updates. Verify that your network's existing security infrastructure is working properly. I like 3 answers here, but I only need 2. These controls use embedded. You're concerned about security, so I like verify that your network's existing security infrastructure is working properly. And I also like install latest firmware updates from the device manufacturer and enroll the device in mobile device management systems. But I'm going to go with this one. Yeah. Since you generally have little or no control over the embedded technology within smart environmental control devices, they are referred to as static environments. As a result, there's typically very little you can do to increase the security posture for these types of devices. So this one was talking about mobile device app, which is why I like the MDM solution. But yeah, I guess we were talking about embedded smart technology. So firmware, and then make sure everything is just connected properly. Which of the following devices are special computer systems that gather, analyze, and manage automated factory equipment? That would be SCADA. Supervisory control and data acquisition devices are special computer systems that gather, analyze, and manage automated factory equipment. Which of the following serves real-time applications without buffer delays? That would be a real-time operating system. What is this FPGA? What is that again? A field programmable gateway array is an integrated circuit manufactured and then later configured by the customer. Oh. Interesting. Field programmable gateway array. Integrated circuit manufactured by the manufactured and then later configured. Holy shit. At a manufacturing facility, the security team for an IoT-based system implemented various efforts to monitor and control multiple processes using embedded systems. The security team employed real-time operating systems to ensure precise and timely data processing. The security team recognized the importance of safeguarding these IoT devices and embedded systems against potential cyber threats. The team plans to implement security best practices and protocols. How would the security team explain why they want to implement security best practices and protocols in the manufacturing facilities, IoT devices, and embedded systems? How would they explain why they want to implement security best practices and protocols? To develop new security protocols tailored specifically for IoT devices to ensure the precise monitoring and control of the manufacturing process, to reduce the risk of unauthorized access to data breaches in the RTOS and embedded systems, to improve the manufacturing facility's overall efficiency and productivity. That one doesn't really sound like it's all about the security. Yeah, so they're talking about like the RTOS system here, and then they're like, dude, this is really important. We got to protect this from cyber attacks. So that one made the most sense. Team wants to implement security best practices and protocols to reduce the risk of unauthorized access and data breaches in the real-time operating systems, IoT devices, and embedded systems used in the manufacturing facility. Which of the following is an open source hardware? All right, so we could already eliminate Microsoft. Amazon. Wait, what are we doing here? Open source hardware and software company that designs and manufactures single board microcontrollers as well as kits to build digital devices. I think that's the Arduino. Might be Pi, might be Raspberry. No, it's the Arduino. Arduino is an open source hardware and software company. They design and manufacture single board microcontrollers as well as kits to build digital devices. Raspberry Pi is a common device that uses the system on a chip. Which of the following embedded devices is an integrated circuit that is manufactured and then later configured by a customer through a hardware description language? We just talked about this. That was the Field Programmable Gateway Array. Multifunction displays is a screen surrounded by configurable buttons that can be used to display information on a variety of ways. It is not an integrated circuit that is... okay, yeah. Which of the following do Raspberry Pi systems make use of? They make use of systems on a chip. We kind of end up knowing some of the answers when we read the explanations for others. Which of the following embedded devices is primarily used for tasks such as military campaigns, search and rescue, weather monitoring, and recreation? That is the unmanned aerial vehicles. Like drones, right? They use embedded computers for collecting and transmitting data for receiving commands. As a network security analyst, you have been tasked with improving the security of a network that includes a variety of embedded devices, including appliances, wearable devices, and industrial equipment. The network has been experiencing frequent security breaches. Which of the following would be the most effective strategy to improve network security? VLANs. Using VLANs or encryption on all communicate. No. Regularly updating the firmware of all devices. I mean, I like that one too. Disabling all unnecessary services on the devices. Implementing a firewall for each individual device. Huh? What? We're using VLANs. Encrypting all. I really like VLANs, dude. I just feel like VLANs is the solution for so many things. I think regularly updating firmware is also a good one. But we're talking about different stuff. Appliances, wearable devices. No, dude, just VLAN it. Just put it all on a VLAN. Come on, that's got to be the right answer. Okay, good. While regularly updating the firmware of all devices can help address known vulnerabilities, it may not be sufficient to protect against all potential security breaches, especially if the network communications are not secure. Which of the following lets you make phone calls over a packet-switched network? That would be the voice over IP. VoIP. VoIP is a protocol optimized for transmission of voice data, telephone calls, through a packet-switched IP network. VoIP routes phone calls through an IP network, including the internet. VoIP solutions can integrate with a public switched telephone network, PSTN, to allow VoIP customers to make and receive external calls. What is the primary function of the Common Address Redundancy Protocol in a network? CARP? I do not remember this acronym at all. What is this? Primary function of Common Address Redundancy Protocol. To enable the active node to own the virtual IP and respond to connections. This one sounds pretty redundancy. Like redundancy, active clusters. To communicate sessions between. I don't know, dude. I do not know what CARP is. It's to enable the active node to own the virtual IP and respond to connections. CARP enables the okay, yeah. It also implements a heartbeat mechanism to allow failover to the passive node. Oh, this is kind of like ringing a bell now. If the active one should suffer fault. So that's what CARP is? CARP is that heartbeat monitor thing. I remember reading about that. CARP. Okay, moving on. What is the primary function of application clustering in a network? It allows servers in a cluster to communicate session information to one another. It enables the active node to own the virtual IP and respond to connections. It processes connections concurrently in an active cluster. It distributes client requests across available server nodes. Would it be that one? It distributes client requests across available server nodes. I think it's this one. It allows servers in a cluster to communicate session information to one another. Maybe it's that one too. I don't know. I don't know, dude. It's either, I think it's one of these two. It's that one. I got it right. Application clustering allows servers in the cluster to communicate session information to one another. This means that if a user logs in on one instance, the next session can start on another. And the new server can access the cookies or other information used to establish the login. Which of the following is a privately controlled portion of a network that is accessible to some specific external entities? Privately controlled portion of the network that is accessible to some specific external entities. I guess extranet? I haven't heard intranet and extranet in so long. I guess it's that one, right? An extranet is a privately controlled portion of the network that is accessible to some specific external entities. Often those external entities are businesses, partners, suppliers, distributors, vendors, or customers. So let's say if you work at a building, right? But you have some sort of like security management happening that's not internal. I guess that would be the extranet, because you have to provide some sort of way for them to communicate with your network. Which of the following best describes an ad hoc network? Ad hoc is kind of like on the fly, so anything that sounds like it's on the fly. Let's see. A network that is designed to trap potential attackers. A network that grants internet access only for guest users. A network that is decentralized, that allows connections without a traditional base station or router. That one. A network that requires a physical connection. No, it's got to be this one. An ad hoc network is a decentralized network that allows devices to connect directly to each other without the need for a traditional base station or router. This type of network is often used for specific purposes, such as a temporary connection for a meeting or event, or just two things communicating with each other, like a speaker and a keyboard. A company wants to set up a private network that employs Internet information services for internal use only, including web servers and email servers that are used by company employees. So this would be the intranet. Like, let's say you work at a company and that company has like a little employee portal, and then you have all your little tiles there for your emails and your job duties and like the phone directories and just all that bullshit. It's an intranet. Holy cow. During a cybersecurity attack, how would a threat actor use image files as a lure to target a vulnerability in a browser or document editing software? Okay, hold on. We got a threat actor, and they're using image files as a lure to target a vulnerability in a web browser or document editing software. The threat actor conceals malware on a USB thumb drive or memory card and tricks employees into connecting the media to a PC, laptop, or smartphone. Image files as a lure to target a vulnerability in a browser. Okay, let's keep going. The threat actor conceals exploit code within an image file that targets a vulnerability in the browser document editing software. Yeah. The threat actor embeds malicious code in a word processing or PDF format files. Well, we're talking about image files. So this rings true, but we're talking about image files. They may use a program file with concealed exploited code like a Trojan horse malware to create backdoor access. I think it's this one. Yeah. The image file simply serves as a lure. This lure entices the target to open it, thus delivering a malicious payload to hook when executed and further triggering the exploit. Which of the following involves threat actors attaching unauthorized devices to a physical network port, allowing them to eavesdrop on a network traffic, intercept and modify data, run spoofed services and applications, or execute exploit code against other hosts? Lack of confidentiality, lack of availability, lack of integrity, lack of authentication. That would be a lack of authentication. He got into an area where there's a physical network port. He didn't have to authenticate in any way. I think it's that one. Oh, it was lack of integrity. What? Commonly called on-path attacks, lack of integrity compromises the reliability of data transmission. A lack of authentication makes it viable for unauthorized users to access the network and its resources without proper credentials, increasing the likelihood of security breach. Okay. Intercept and modify data? Sounds like a data breach to me. Or a security breach to me. Run spoof servers and applications. Alright, I don't know. That was a weird question. Which of the following descriptions is true about fail open and fail close configurations for security devices in the event of a failure? So fail open means that access is blocked? No. Fail open means that network or host access is preserved if possible, while fail close means that access is blocked or that the system enters the most secure state available. I like that one. Fail open prioritizes confidentiality and integrity over availability. No, it doesn't. Both fail open and fail close prioritize. No, it's this one. In a fail open configuration, the system maintains network or host access if possible in the event of a failure. If a failed close configuration, the system blocks access or enters the most secure state available in the event of a failure. An organization implements a new network infrastructure and plans to use an intrusion prevention system for security. The IT manager wants to ensure that the IPS will continue to let traffic flow if it fails. That would be fail open. We were just talking about it. An organization is implementing an intrusion prevention system as part of its efforts to secure its enterprise infrastructure. The IT manager is considering the failure modes of an IPS and deciding between fail open and fail close configurations. What are the implications of each configuration on network traffic in the event of a system failure? Both fail open and fail close will allow all traffic? No. Fail open will block all traffic? No. Fail open will allow all traffic, while fail close will block that one. That's that one. That's just like a different wording for the same question that we just did. You have configured a security device in your network to fail closed. Which of the following will happen when an attack occurs? The device will distribute network traffic across. Nope, it won't. The device will block access or enter the most secure state available when it fails. It's that one. Device will act on behalf of client when accessing no. Device will preserve network. No, it won't. It's that one. Hospital has implemented a security device that processes sensitive patient information. The hospital wants to ensure that in the event of a failure, the confidentiality and integrity of the patient data takes priority over the system's availability. So you want failed close. You don't want failed open, you want failed close. Security device should be configured to actively monitor. Security device should be configured to fail close. I didn't even read the last one. Doesn't matter, because I know the answer. Financial institution is implementing a new security control device to protect its network infrastructure and wants to ensure that in the event of a failure, the confidentiality and integrity of its financial data takes precedence over the system availability. So we just, this is the same thing, but now we're talking about finances. What should a financial institution set as a failure mode? Fail open. Fail close. An IT architecture of a medium-sized e-commerce business that operates 24/7 is planning to enhance its security resilience and recovery capabilities. As part of this project, the architect is considering a clustering solution for the servers. The architect's key objective is high availability and seamless customer experience, even in the event of unexpected server failures. What type of clustering setup would be best meet the needs of this e-commerce business? No clustering, just a single server. Yeah, everything we read was just dumb. Active-active clustering, I like that one. With an equal number of active and passive nodes. Active-passive clustering with an equal number of active. I think active-active is just like everybody's working. Active-passive would be like one guy's working and the other one's waiting for the other one to take a break. We're going with active-active. Both nodes in this setup process the connections concurrently, maximizing the utilization of available resources. They sure do. What is a significant advantage of using active-passive clustering configuration in network? The active node can access the cookies or other information used to establish the login. Both nodes process, no, it's not that one. The public IP used to access the service is shared between the two instances in a cluster. The performance is not adversely affected during failover. The advantage of using active-passive, the active node can access cookies or other information used to establish. But what about the passive? The performance is not adversely affected during failover. I want to say it's that one. I mean, active passive is better than just active, which is why I think it's this one. Yeah. The performance is not adversely affected during failover is correct. In an active passive configuration, the performance is not adversely affected during failover because the passive node is ready to take over. Yeah. Felt like that was a trick question, though. Like, the significant advantage of using active passive as opposed to what? The only thing I could think of was just active, like just nothing. The IT manager of a medium-sized organization is designing a new network infrastructure to secure its enterprise infrastructure by implementing an intrusion prevention system and IDS. The manager is considering different deployment methods for the IPS IDS to optimize their effectiveness. The organization's network includes multiple security zones, a VPN for remote access, and a web application firewall. Which deployment method provides the most comprehensive protection in this scenario? Deploy the IPS IDS devices in inline mode next to the WAF. Deploy the IPS IDS devices in passive mode within the... Okay, I'm going to get this one wrong. I don't know what's going on. I can't paint the picture in my head on this. Deploy the IPS devices in a tap monitor mode at the entry and exit points of the VPN tunnel. Deploy this in an inline mode at the network perimeter. Which deployment method provides the most comprehensive protection? The organization network includes multiple security zones. So medium-sized organization. It's enterprise infrastructure. Doing different deployment methods for the IDS, IPS. I don't know. 3 people watching. Does anybody have an idea on this one? We have a medium-sized organization. They're designing a new network infrastructure to secure its enterprise infrastructure. And we're going to implement IPS and IDSs. And we're considering different deployment methods to do this. We have multiple security zones, a VPN, and a web application firewall. So deploy the IDS, IPS devices inline mode next to the WAF. Maybe, yeah, that one sounds right. The whole point is to protect us from the outside world, right? Inline mode next to the WAF. IPS, IDS in passive mode within the internal network. I don't know. Deploy the IPS IDS device inline mode at the network perimeter. Yeah, maybe. That one sounds good too. Deploy the IPS devices in tap monitor mode at the entry points. No. This one we don't got to worry about. I'm going to say this one. I'm saying this one. There you go. Deploying the IPS IDS devices inline mode at the network perimeter allows for real-time analysis and reaction to potential threats, providing comprehensive protection for all inbound and outbound network traffic. So what about the WAF one? Although deploying the IPS IDS devices inline mode next to the WAF can enhance the security of web applications, it does not protect all network traffic. Oh, I see. Because we also need to work on our internal network traffic. Gotcha. Okay, let's move on. Oh, shit. I think I want to take a break. An hour and 40 minutes. I think I want to take a break. Either that or I'm just going to call it and do the rest myself. But I kind of want to just stop for a bit. What do we get up to? 76. Holy shit, dude. These questions are long. A test is only an hour and 30 minutes. I've been doing this for an hour and 40 minutes. All right, let's try to get up to question 90, and then I'm going to call it. And then it's up to you guys to do the rest. For everybody who's got the test out, good luck. I mean, it's good that you guys do some of these yourself, you know? And for anybody who doesn't have test out, I apologize, but we're just going to stop at question 90, I think. That'll probably be another 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So you are a network engineer for a large corporation that is planning to implement a new IDS. The corporation has a high volume of network traffic and requires real-time monitoring for potential security threats. So the following approaches to integrating the IDS into the corporation's network would best meet this requirements. Using a test access point, never heard of that, device to provide the IDS with a copy of the network traffic. Connecting the IDS to a random network node to minimize what? Connecting the IDS to a switch and configuring the switch to mirror all network traffic to the IDS. That one sounds cool. Connecting the IDS directly to the corporation's main router. That one sounds pretty straightforward. We have a high volume of network traffic that requires real-time monitoring for potential security threats. So I want to say it's this one. Connecting the IDS directly to the corporation's main router. Connecting the IDS to a switch and configuring the switch to mirror all network traffic. We have a high volume of network traffic. High volume network traffic requires real-time monitoring. Random node to minimize impact on network performance. I don't know, dude. This is a tough one. I feel like it's one of these two. I'm gonna go with this one. Oh shit, it was this one. Using a test access point device to provide the IDS with a copy of the network traffic. Dude, I've never heard of a test access point. And I've already watched like 1,000 videos on Security Plus. A TAP device allows an IDS to receive a copy of all network traffic without impacting network performance. This approach enables real-time monitoring and is suitable for networks with high traffic volumes. Sure. You are the office manager of a small financial credit business. Your company handles personal financial information for clients seeking small loans over the internet. You are aware of your obligation to secure client records, but the budget is an issue for your company. Which item would provide the best security for the solution? I mean, if budget's an issue, we can't buy a bunch of different things, so maybe we just get an all-in-one security appliance. Firewall on your gateway server to the internet, network access control systems, proxy servers, and I mean, let's just get all these three and put it all in one, right? Let's see if that's the right answer. Yeah. An all-in-one security appliance would provide the best overall protection, least amount of space, and require the least amount of technical assistance in the setup. A proxy server can be configured to do which of the following: restrict users on the inside of the network from getting out to the network, block all content except for the content you have identified as permissible, allow all contact except for the content that you have identified as restricted, or act as a unified threat security device or web security gateway. I kind of like that one. I'm going with this one. Fuck! It was restrict users on the inside of the network from getting out into the internet. Proxy servers can be configured to do all of that. Holy shit. Holy shit. They can restrict users on the inside of the network from getting out into the internet. They can restrict access by users or a specific website. Restrict users from using certain protocols. Use access controls to control inbound or outbound traffic. This was a weird question. That was a weird question. What is the main role of a load balancer in network security? To act as a gateway to access certain isolated systems, to capture packets for intrusion detection, to act on behalf of the client when accessing resources over the internet, maybe that one, to distribute network traffic across multiple servers. It's that one. It's that one. Hey, what's up, Brittany? How you doing? Ren came by, told me he's got this master plan of hacking the network, and then he disappeared. I think he went to go hack someone. Alright, we got 10 more. Let's do this. Which of the following is a technique that disperses a workload between two or more computers or resources to achieve optimal resource utilization, throughput, and response time? We just talked about it. It's the load balancer. A small startup has recently launched its first web application to ensure high availability and to handle potential traffic spikes. The startup decides to implement a load balancer in its network infrastructure. The network technician must secure the load balancer against basic threats. What is the fundamental step the network technician should take to secure the load balancer? Disabling unnecessary services to the load balancer. Configure the load balancer to operate in fail closed mode. Implement an intrusion detection system alongside the load balancer. Or enable all available features on the load balancer. So these two I don't like. I don't like these two. Kind of like the idea of fail closed and just disabling unnecessary services. What are we doing again? First web app to ensure high availability. So we can't fail close this. We can't fail close this. We just got to disable the unnecessary services. That's the right answer. What is the primary function of a load balancer in a network? To provide a virtual IP or a shared or floating address. To communicate session information between servers in a cluster. To process connections concurrently in an active-active cluster. Or to distribute client requests across available server nodes in a farm or pool. It would be that one, wouldn't it? It sure would be. The primary function of load balancer is to distribute client requests across available server nodes in a farm or pool, managing web traffic and ensuring that no single server becomes overwhelmed. A growing e-commerce company is considering various strategies to ensure its web servers can handle sudden traffic surges without an impact on site availability. Company is assessing methods that distribute incoming traffic across multiple servers. Which strategy should the company implement to dynamically allocate dynamically allocate the load based on real-time traffic and server conditions? Active server pages, passive load balancing, active load balancing. It's got to be that one. Or Active Directory. That's funny. A growing e-commerce company wants to implement a strategy that evenly distributes incoming traffic across multiple servers without constantly monitoring server loads or making adjustments based on real-time conditions. That sounds very like passive-y, right? I just kind of want to just go passive. Yeah. Passive load balancing distributes clients' requests evenly across servers without considering current load. So it's just like everybody's kind of equal rather than like, you know, the load balancer working on overtime, trying to think a little bit harder on active mode. System engineers designing a new IT infrastructure for a company that provides a highly used online service. The company wants to ensure that its service communications are efficient and available around the clock. Which feature should the engineer primarily consider during the design process? Wait, what did I read? IT infrastructure for a company that provides highly used online service. The company wants to ensure that service communications are efficient and available around the clock. Are we still on load balancing? Because that sounds like load balancing to me. Yes, we are. In which of the following situations would you use port security? You want to restrict the devices that could connect through a switch port. I always get this confused with switch ports, or protocol ports. So let's see. You want to prevent MAC address spoofing. You want to control packets sent and received. See, I don't know if it's this type of ports. You want to prevent sniffing attacks on the network. Port security is either about the ports through the transport layer or the ports on a switch. I think it's about the ports on a switch. It was. Access control lists on a router to control send and receive packets. Use port security on a switch to restrict the devices that can communicate or connect to the switch. Port security uses the MAC address to identify allowed and denied devices when an incoming frame is received. The switch examines the source MAC address to decide whether or not to forward or drop the frame. Oh gosh. Let's see if we can answer this question by just reading sentence by sentence instead of the whole thing. So let's see. You are a network administrator for a city library. Alright, could we create VLANs for each group of 4 computers? Configure port security on a switch. Create static MAC addresses for each computer and associate each address with VLAN, or remove the hub and place each library computer on its own access point. I don't think we have enough information there. Let's see. Throughout the library, there are several groups of computers that provide public access to the internet. Something tells me we gotta remove this hub. Supervision of these computers has been very difficult. Maybe we gotta move that hub. You had problems with patrons bringing personal laptops into the library and disconnecting network cables from the library computers to connect their laptops to the internet. Now I'm leaning towards port security. Let's see. The library computers are in groups of 4. Each group of the 4 computers is connected to a hub that is connected to the library network through an access port or switch. You want to restrict access to the network so that only library computers are permitted connectivity to the internet. I still feel like we gotta remove that hub. Why are we using a hub? Each group of 4 computers is connected to a hub that is connected to the library network through an access port switch. I configure port security on the switch through an access port on the switch. You want to restrict access to the network so that only library computers are permitted. Well, if we remove the hub, they can still... There's no security here, except removing the hub. So I think we still want to configure port security on the switch. Create a static MAC addresses for each computer associated... No, I think it's this one. Yeah. I mean, removing the hub is good, but it still didn't solve the problem. Aw, man, look at all this reading, dude! As a network administrator, you have implemented MAC filtering as a security measure on your company's network. You notice that an unauthorized device has been able to connect to the network despite the MAC filtering. Which of the following is the most likely explanation for this occurrence, and what should you do? The unauthorized device has bypassed the MAC filtering by connecting to a disabled port. You should ensure all unused ports are properly disabled. Did they mean to write unused port here? A disabled port? Make sure it's disabled. The MAC filtering feature is malfunctioning. You should troubleshoot the feature or consider replacing the switch. The unauthorized device has a spoofed MAC address of an authorized device. You should implement a secondary authentication method. I like that one. The MAC address for the unauthorized device has been manually added to the allow list. You should review the allow list. Nah, I think it's this one. Yeah. That one sounded very smart. As a network administrator, you are tasked with creating VLANs on a switch to improve network performance and security. You decide to create VLANs based on different departments in your company. However, you notice that devices from different VLANs are unable to communicate with each other. So we need to have some sort of VLAN tagging here. Which of the following is the most likely reason for this? Switch ports are not correctly assigned to VLANs. You should review the VLAN assignment. Nah. Switch is not properly configured for VLANs. You should review the VLAN configuration. Inter-VLAN routing is not enabled. You should implement a router or a layer 3 switch to enable communication. That one. Devices not properly configured for VLANs. I think it's this one. Yeah. Alright, last question of the day, and it's a short one. Thank God. Which protocol should you disable on the user access ports of a switch? Is it PPTP, TCP, DTP, or IPsec? Which protocol should you disable on the user access ports of a switch? I'm going to be honest, I don't know. This is like the shortest answer, and I don't know. Well, I don't know why we would disable IPsec or TCP. I forgot what DDP is. And peer-to-peer tunneling protocol, I think it's PPTP. And then we want to disable one. Dang, what is DTP again? I forgot. I don't know. Let's disable it. Yes! What the fuck is this? Switches have the ability to automatically detect ports that are trunk ports and to negotiate the trunking protocol used between devices. DTP is not secure and allows unauthorized devices to possibly modify and configure information. You should disable DTP services on a... What is it? What is DTP though? Desktop publishing? No. Oh, dynamic trunking protocol is a proprietary link layer protocol developed by Cisco Systems for the purpose of negotiating trunking on a link between two VLAN-aware switches. And then in our example here is we want to disable it because switches have the ability to automatically detect ports that are trunk ports and to negotiate the trunking protocol used between devices. And DTP is not secure and allows unauthorized devices to possibly modify configuration and information. So if a hacker tries to turn himself into a switch, he's going to use the DTP protocol. Interesting. And that's it. That is it. So for everybody who's got test out, good luck on your studies. Good luck on your Security Plus exam. I just wanted to do the first 90 questions with everybody. Anybody who doesn't have test out, I still have many resources on my YouTube page. I'm pretty sure we're up to like 1,000 questions we've answered already. Maybe not 1,000. We're getting close to 1,000. But yeah, there is a plethora of exam questions on my YouTube, and there's a plethora just on the web itself. But yeah, this is the Security Plus Test Out Security Pro, Domain 3, Security Architecture. This is a tough chapter. I was getting a lot of those virtualization, virtual networking questions wrong. Well, it's tough. But yeah, that's it. That's all I'm going to be sharing and saving on the interwebs for now on this domain. So see you later.